Use less leverage when you trade the markets. Use wider stops so you don't get picked off. If you don't use less leverage, you might lose your head and your account will be dead. Use less leverage. Hi, everyone. Good post NFP. Dollar popped on this. Got near targets. 3 drives everywhere. Euro's trying to make a comeback. I didn't do anything today. So I'm just going to let this day pass me by, except for my positions in stock indexes. Did talk about this second drive here in Canada. It turned after LAR was over. Maybe some people got some, took this one divergence. We're at some major resistance in Canada now. Very muted response in the end. Still looks very vulnerable to me. This is the key. And Euro Pound finally getting to those targets we talked about, 80.5, 81. Getting some divergence up here. So who's in the house and how did it go, everyone? You got hired? Hi, Dion. Today's interview, I'll be interviewing myself. Am I interviewing myself? I've done that once before. Hiya, Goldie. How are you? Ali, Dion, Pipper, Calvin. Nice to meet you. Stuart, Luca, Alexandros, Brooke. Nice guppy short. Refat. PHI is a new handle. Welcome to LAR. Chaz, welcome to LAR. Andy, nice to meet you. The Grays, Tosin. Energy. Oh, Evgeny. Welcome to LAR. Dan, Jake, Paul, Carl, Abel, my buddy. FX Praise, Todd, Siva, Eileen, Ank, Planet, how have you been? Long time. Abel, Fame, how's everyone doing here? So this is pretty classic. Wasn't ideal. It was way over 70 here in the Euro, but the form was there. Pretty close. Didn't quite get up to the 15 level. Maybe it'll try it again. Maybe it'll try it again. Hello, Ibby. How's it going? It should be, it's on tape, Dion. It's on tape. If you want to see me interviewing myself, I did do that once. The sky is green or blue? So maybe Euro does a little bit more work and we peek into next week. One of the things I did want to point out was the Dixie has a third drive too. Well, there's the S&P. But when you look at the Dixie, which is almost identical in the inverse to the Euro, you've got a third drive down here as well. See this? 1, 2, 3. That's why I was saying before the number a little late to get aggressively bearish the dollar down here, if you caught my remarks during the coverage. Those are my thoughts, guys. Okay, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go. Start showing some screenshots here. Congratulations, Goldie. Yeah, you were short pound. You were short yen. And what else? Waiting for a pullback, Jake? See what you have. In the pound. Okay, everyone thank Jake for his look in the pound. We're either going, if we get through 42.5, we're going to 40.5. What do you got? 140 down here to 37. Okay. Thank you, Jake. Everyone thank Jake for his daily look on cable. Hi, Rick. Everyone thank Jake for his technical view of the pound. Thank you, Rick. Same to you, buddy. Are you out of the S&P? I don't know what they're doing right now. Dow's coming in 120 lower. Who else is in the house today? We have some new handles here. How about making the new handles feel at home here in LAR? Here's a few. Say hello to BHI. Welcome, BHI. Good. Here's Goldie, a look from Goldie. Back to 113, and then, yeah, you showed that yesterday. So just back to 113 and then up again. I remember now. Thank you, Goldie. Don't fade Goldie. That's all I could say. Everyone thank Goldie for his look. Aussie yen. Okay, Tozin and Ricardo are bearish Aussie yen. That's LAR confluence. Nice, Tozin. Everyone thank Tozin for the Aussie yen. Oh, that's the S&P. And Tozin also sold the high in the S&P right here. Thank you, Tozin. Here's the Aussie yen. Thank you again, Tozin. Here's something from Brook. Pound. Nice triangle. Thank you, Brook. Nice work. Nice work, my trading warrior brothers and sisters. Thanks for your sharing your views with the community. Wilson's got another. Guppy breaking down. Nice. Thank you, Tozin. Can't keep up with you guys now. Everyone thank Tozin. Rook 136. Thank you, Goldie. Rook. Tozin. And anyone else I missed. Not going long yet. Anyone having a hard time today? I hope everyone held their equity All right, there's some more LAR confluence on the guppy hitting the target. Great minds think alike. How are you, Dion? I'm with Goldie, 113. I'm with Goldie. Hello, Paul, the Grays, Chaz. Everyone, welcome Chaz to our community. Make our new handles feel at home. Welcome, Chaz. Welcome, Ev, Jenny. Welcome, Calvin. Yeah, don't screw it up. Everyone, welcome our new handles in here. Everyone, welcome Carl. How are you, Praise? Welcome, Siva. Your handle looks familiar to me, Siva, from Twitter. Welcome to LAR. Welcome back, Eileen. Hello, Stuart. Welcome, Hank. Planet, it's been a while. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I think it's a good time to cover the oil short. Nice trade, Tosin. Tosin's the only one who sold the high. He sold the high on the S&Ps at 2070. Tosin did. So I'm going to award Tosin the man award. He was short crude. Tosin traded like a champ this week. Everyone thank Tosin. There's a crude bounce. Here's Aussie Yen from Rick. Just starting to break down. Right off the trend line. Probably going down to under 80. Thank you, Ricky. Ashraf, how are you? Goldie. What are we looking at? The guppy. Looking for a long side trade down here at 55. A, B, C, and then up. Thank Goldie. Thank you, Goldie. Did I miss anything? Luca has something on Euro Pound for signs of divergence. Yep. You're right, Luca. And it's under 70. We're getting close. Thank you, Luca. Ron, you do have a note? Ron, you have a note? Okay. Thank you, guys. Third drive you're waiting for? Okay. So here's Tosin's look at Euro Pound. We're getting close there. We're getting some confluence of looking for a peak in Euro Pound. Thank you, Tosin. Jake. The guppy. Here's some levels from Jake on the guppy. Probably lines up with where Goldie's looking for the guppy to get down to. I don't know why I can't show the levels here. Okay. So this is Goldie's target area down here, about 58.30. Thank you, Jake. You guys are deluging me. Thank you, Jake. Who thinks Jake is a great addition to our community? Here's my why. I think Jake's a great addition to LAR. I think Brooke is a great addition to LAR. If you think Brooke and Jake are great additions to our community, give me a why. They're fairly new. I think they are bringing some nice technical work. Everyone doing okay? Remember, if you're just down a few pips, don't worry about it. Right? I was early on my VIX buys. So remember, guys, it ain't nothing but a drawdown or margin call. It ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. But don't be scared if you still believe the call. Never said I was perfect. That would be a lie. Never said I was perfect. That would be a lie. But I'm more right than wrong, and I could look you in the eye. Watch me fly. It ain't nothing but a drawn down and a margin call. Ain't nothing but a drawdown and a margin call. But I ain't scared, 'cause I still believe my call. I know, I made Jax cry. Okay. All right, Tosin. Next. Here comes the yen. Yen actually diverged a little bit down here, didn't it? So the dollar's going to come back. There goes the euro. In fact, who was it? It was, okay. Borgia. Borgia called the euro move. Borgia, are you in here? You called the euro move before the NFP. Nice trading. Is Borgia in the house? Ashraf and Amro, welcome to LAR. Are you Ashraf Ladi? Borgia, are you here? Good for you, Luca. So here we go to 113, Goldie's target. We have a great interview. Adam Button's going to be with us. USD CAD. Mid-range. Thank you, Brooke. What's your bias here? One more low? Everyone thank Brooke for his USD CAD look. Nice praise. Yeah, one more low. 113 to 1250. By just Dion, just looking at every chart and trading every chart like it's an individual entity. Price will rule. 2037. Thank you, Tosin. So did I show everyone's charts or did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? Yeah. You had enough into the NFP, Goldie. You were brave enough. Yeah. I'm giving Tosin the Man Award. Tosin's the only one who sold the S&Ps at the high 2 days ago. Everyone congratulate Tosin for nailing the high in the S&P. You're the man, Tosin. You've been a great addition to our community, Tosin. I want to thank you for all your contributions. Everyone congratulate Tosin. Sold S&Ps at 2070. Good job, buddy. Yeah, what a community, huh? If you love LAR, give me a Y. And also after the why, tell me why. If you love LAR, give me a why and tell me why. Here's my why. And the reason is because of you. Tell me why. Borja, I didn't know you were here. You get the man award too. Here's Borja's tweet before the NFP. Here's Borja's tweet. And if you guys want to tweet in my stream, my handle's Forex Stop Hunter. Borja's looking for a big break, but he thinks maybe back to 1050. But Borja tweeted this to me before the NFP. Everyone see that? There he is. There he is, Borja. Nice trade, Borja. You two are the man. Look at his long-term look. He's thinking this is it. Anyway, everyone congratulate Borja for his great short in the Euro prior to the NFP. Very gutsy trade, buddy. Nice work. So quite a few very good traders. Okay, Kuz. We'll take it one step at a time. Very nice work, though. So I'm giving you a man award, too. Borja, you get the other man award. This one. Thank you, Tolson. Thank you, Rick. Nice work, guys. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Tolson. Maybe. It is diverging down here, Brooke. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Tolson. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Forex Stop Hunter. Everyone doing all right? We'll be talking to Adam Button in the next hour. Thanks, Goldie. Yeah. Okay, Tosin. Everyone doing all right? Stick around for Adam Button. Adam does some excellent seasonal work. I'm going to ask him about what he sees in April. Ask him about some April seasonals. Yeah. Yeah, it's been happening for a little while. Yeah. Don't fade praise. Praise looking to short the Kiwi. Thank you, Praise. You're a star. Nice. Who's happy to see Praise back in here active almost every day? Praise was a pioneer at the beginning of LAR and has come back. Give me a Y if you agree with me. It's great to have Praise back with us on a regular basis, showing his stuff. Thank you, Praise. I'm glad to have you back. There's my Y. Okay. How are you, Alexandros? How are you, brother? Good week today. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, I'm going to take a break, guys. Take 5-10 minutes. I'll be back. Stick around for Adam Button at FX Button at Forex Live. Stick around for Adam in the next half hour. We short equities out of gold. Okay, buddy, good. What's your big picture? You short the DAX? Because DAX is 20% from its highs before today, with the S&Ps within 3%, 2% of its highs. Maybe you have a picture you want to share. Rick does. All of them. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, Adinda. Break, please. Break. All right, I'll show Rick's. I'll show Luca. I think we should be looking to buy the Aussie Kiwi, right? Around 110 I was looking for. Yeah. This should be setting up pretty soon. You got to get ready to buy the Aussie Kiwi, I think. This is just a pullback. This is the neckline. Aussie Kiwi looks good to me. Maybe it could pull back one more time to 110. All right, after this, I am taking a break. Here's the Aussie US dollar. Everyone doing all right? Okay, I'll stick around. This could be a big fall coming in the NASDAQ. Nice look by Alex in the NASDAQ. This is C. Or C to come. And then Rick had a look in the Euro Pound, I believe. $81.20, $80.60. Yeah, you did have this a long time. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Alex. Wow, DAX is really ugly. Here's the FTSE. FTSE much weaker too. One more break down here. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I really am taking a break now. Okay, Jake, you're not going to let me take a break, are you? Here's Jake's Dow chart. Maybe it's two drives. Looks like we've had two here, Jake. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. Thank you, Jake. Yeah. I'll be back in 5. Thank you, everyone. I'm back, Adinda. Thank you. Hey, everybody. How you doing? I'm back. Eating an apple. Glad it's Friday. NCAA finals. Haven't seen Carlos in a while. Thank you, Jake. I'm doing okay. How are all my trading warrior brothers and sisters doing? Oh, you Hey, Mystic, how are you? And Eminem? All right, I'll do it for you. The employment numbers weren't really too bad today, so maybe June's on the table. It depends on what happens. It's only April 1st, so
I know that no one thinks we're going to do anything this month. I don't really know what to do anymore. I'm not sure about being sure of anything. I thought the jobs would be okay, and they were, and I don't have a speech, so I'm just going to have a picnic this weekend with my husband in the woods and enjoy spring and spring. I'm not sure. Maybe if we take rates down, the S&P could go to 2,800 sometime. And then it'd be safe to do it because then a 30% correction from 3,000 would only take us right back to where we are right now. And I don't think anyone would be too mad at me for doing that. You think the market would be mad at me if I tightened once the S&Ps were 3,000? I don't think so.
All right, my friends. Never thought that was going to be popular. Okay, my Janet Yellen. Want to hear my Mario? I buy it and I buy and I buy the bonds and I buy everything and I want the euro to go down and today it goes down, but every time I talk now it doesn't work the way it used to be. It's like getting hit in the face with a pizza. I tell the market that I'm doing everything I can. I'll do whatever it takes so that our economy don't turn into spaghetti or ravioli. Oh, and the euro it go up when I talk, and I didn't mean for it to go. I need the euro more high so I could buy more pizza. Oh, Goldie, you're good, man. All right, go ahead, Mystic. Mr. Magoo. Stick around for Adam Button. See what Adam's seasonals are saying for April. Yeah. I don't think she'll ever hike rates again, maybe. And if we get a sell-off to 1,600 S&Ps, then I think the guys talking about more QE will be right. So the Bears are looking for a big break. Kuroda? Yeah, I could do that. Oh, yeah. Take the interest rate to negative and the end go up. I fluctuated again. I got fluctuated again. How's that, Luca? Supplies. That's it. That's my central banker routine. Market's coming back. Gold's trying to bounce. ABC. Crude still heading lower. Headed towards Goldie's 113 in euro. You like that one, Dion? Okay. Adam should be with us shortly. I get on my stand-up routine. You called that one, Brooke. Nice trade, buddy. I think you showed it yesterday, didn't you? Okay. Hello, Planet. How have you been? Nice to see you here, Planet. Been a little while. Thank you, Brooke. Nice to see you, Planet. Hope everything's been going okay. Ron the Dutch, how are you doing, buddy? Everyone doing okay? Stick around for Adam Button. I'm sure most of you, like me, are ready to call it a week. Recharge our batteries, look at our weekly charts. So it's still a pretty positive week in the euro, right? So over the weekend, I look at my weeklies. How about you guys? You guys look at weeklies? Whoops. Yeah, monthly. So it's still a pretty good week in the euro, right? It's a good week, right? I think so too, Ron. And monthlies, I agree. Look at monthlies. Yeah. So this is how you get to 125, right? This is how you get to 125. Right? Because we start getting through 115. Call this a 1,000 pip range pretty much between this low, and 115 being a pretty important pivot. 116 gives you 123, 125, right? So we have to be aware of that. Because if I only looked at the hourly, But I tell you what, Borgia's got a pretty negative view, and I hate to fade Borgia. I wonder why. I wonder why, Luke. I wonder why. My wife's phone. Because of the euro. Because the euro's going up. Right? So they are more bullish. ISM's positive. Yeah, like me. Thank you, Brooke. So this data is really making Janice look foolish. Something I talked about with Val and Yohei, that she came out like such a dove this week, and actually we're getting a couple of good numbers a few days after her speech. Therefore, the credibility of the Fed, just like all other central banks, is eroding at a pretty good clip. She comes out and flies away like a dove.
I'm gonna be a dove and fly and never raise rates the rest of the century.
Then you get a decent employment number, a decent ISM. How much credibility is that? I don't know. I don't know. Stick around for Adam. He's one of my favorite guys, Adam Button. S&Ps are coming back a bit. Yeah. I'll be right back. Adam's a top gun, yeah. What do you got, Ricky? S&P look from Rick. Yeah. The euro. Euro. Thanks, Rick. Yeah. If you love Rick's charts, give me a Y. There's my Y. All right, praise is going the short side of euro here. Thank you, praise. Did you see I acknowledged you on Twitter, you and Sinatra? Rick already have. Okay, that takes it near Goldie's number. He had 113. This looks like what, about 1270? Thank you, Praise. Everyone thank Rick and Praise. Give praise to Rick. Give praise to Praise. What the hell? I'll be right back. Thank you, Praise. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Borgia. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Tolzin. Hi, Forex Pipper. Thank you, Mystic. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Ron, Rick, Alexandros, Ibby, Stip. Welcome, Stip to LAR. The Grays, thank you. Ali, Mauricio, thank you. Lerner, thank you. Carl, thank you. Double A, thank you. Calvin, nice to meet you. Fab, how are you, buddy? Vol guys in the house. BW, Todd, Eileen, Planet, Inc. Welcome to LAR, Inc. Adinda, and my good friend Abel. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for everything. Okay, Goldie, thank you, buddy. What a great community. I love you guys. Stick around for Adam. The law of attraction in action. Attracting great, giving people. Love and respect, LAR. Love and respect. Each and every one of you guys. Even though I haven't even shaken hands with most of you or met most of you in person, I'd love to meet each and every one of you someday. Be great to break bread and raise a glass and see all the people who put their hearts into their trading and share what they know with everyone. I nominate LAR for the Nobel Peace Prize of Humanitarianism in a capitalistic venture. Glad to serve, Praise. Glad to serve. And we keep growing and keep attracting and keep sharing and keep lifting up people. Sowing good seed every day. 2 months away from Lars' third birthday. 2 months away from Lars' third birthday. Praise for President. Adam should be here shortly. Stick around for Adam. Everyone doing okay? Thank you, Brooke. Yeah. Goodbye, gold. Well, I think you guys know that I brought up the COT report on gold for the last couple weeks. Although I thought back near the highs we'd get one more shot to 1,300, I don't think so anymore. 1,200 looks like the breakdown. I think we're going to 1,100. I think gold's going to 1,100. That's my Nostra Pinkert. 1,100 gold, then 1,500. 1,100, then 15. 1.618 of the first move. What do you got, Praise? Yeah, I like this 3 driver. I don't know what it is yet, but I want to buy it. Buying the breakout in the Swiss. Okay. Just like it's the opposite of the euro. And I guarantee you had divergence on the Swiss down here. Take a picture, everyone. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. I've renamed the 3 drive formation to the Holy Trinity formation. There's the Father, there's the Son, and there's the Holy Spirit. If you don't like that description, tough. Beautiful look there. Nice look, Praise. You're not going to see a more perfect 3rd drive pattern than that. 1190. Okay. And Goldie, dollar nearing support. Okay, your 113 level. So we're right about 113 anyway. Thank you, Goldie. We're right here. It's got to make some kind of stand. Nice look, Goldie. You guys are great. What can I say? S&Ps love the dollar coming back and gold breaking. Yep. So I guess the market likes the dollar coming back, S&P coming back. I don't know what it likes anymore. Maybe we still have 12. Okay, so I'm looking for you. I don't see you in the room. I don't see you in the room, Adam. There's Adam. Got you, buddy.
Hello, Dale.
Hey, Adam, how are you, man?
Good, good, good. Can you see me?
Can see you, hear you. Everything's cool. I put on a tie for you, man. So let's start with Janet Yellen this week. Not even saying the glass is half empty. It's empty. She even talked about QE. All right, even talked about QE, something people thought was crazy a few months ago. And then we get these numbers, Adam. You know, the ISM wasn't bad, the NFP wasn't bad. Just another chink in the armor of the omnipotent Fed and credibility becoming more of an issue. What is your reaction to what she said and what we're getting?
Yeah, I mean, the dollar's ripping here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the market wanted to see a little bit of that hawkishness, right? And
Yeah.
she has been so stubborn, and not even like, I mean, if she would have just given some kind of little hint last week, or earlier this week, that a hike could come, you know, I think the dollar would have ripped. But it was just the opposite, and she was very disciplined. And I really believe that the Fed doesn't think inflation is there. You know, they want to see the evidence. They're not worried about inflation overshooting. And, you know, now we're at June. If you look at the probabilities, it's 28% hike. Now that's up from 20% yesterday because the data was better. And the Fed's done this we're data dependent thing, right? They've said it 100 times, we're data dependent. Well, the data's been good all year, really, even when markets were roiled. Now they're blaming the international outlook because they're, you know, you see the glass half empty, but they are saying the domestic side is pretty good. But they seem to say at the same time that's not good enough, and it's not going to be good enough to create inflation. And we know that Q1 is going to be pretty soft in terms of GDP, and we just had construction spending just now. That's a big component in GDP, and it will be soft. So I think you're down looking at maybe September, and you need the good data to keep up, and it probably will. And then the other question I'll ask you is, well, if you're not buying the dollar, what do you buy?
Yeah, that's a big question to me right now, Adam, is, you know, we've had this move in the dollar to the downside, and I don't think it's completely washed out the longer-term picture for a bull market in the dollar, but it does definitely stretch out, and I think a lot of people have been shaken out of their bearish euro positions. And I'm wondering, in your view right here, if you're a dollar bull, this has got to be a great dollar buying opportunity. But I could also make a case for, you know, even though the euro is going to pull back from this 114, 115 level, as long as we hold, say, 111, that possibly the highs are not in yet, and we could even see 118, maybe a 120 handle. Do you think that this bull market in the dollar, the back has been broken, or should we be stalking long dollar positions here?
I mean, I think you have to. You have to go back to that. Well, look at the data. Look at the domestic picture. It's pretty good, and nowhere else is really better. Yeah, for now, I think the dollar is going to be on its back foot. Some of these technical breaks you just can't argue with them. The way Kiwi's broken out, a lot of the commodity currencies, the euro is really on the verge of breaking out. Although it's come back down today. Dollar yen, that 111 level is as hard as the BOJ is going to fight it. And back again today down towards 111, and now we're back up at 112.30. I like the dollar, but we're going to talk about seasonals as well. And April is, if there's 1 month on the calendar where seasonals are just extraordinary and consistent, it's April. And the story time and time again is dollar weakness in this month.
Okay, well, April Fools, maybe the dollar's rebound is April Fools here. Adam, I wanted to ask you about other seasonal things and cover a few things. One thing I know is you were so right, so big on the crude oil market last year, being a bear, and I believe the last time we got together I said I thought we could rally back to 38 to 41, which has been achieved. You said 38 was possible. In fact, I believe it was in February, it was a positive seasonal month for crude, and it bottomed at 26. So I guess the question here is, a lot of bears are saying it's just a bear market rally in crude and it's going to reassert itself and take out that 26 low. Are you still in the long-term bear camp in crude oil?
Yeah, I am, but the timing is everything, right? The first really half of the year, it is a good seasonal stretch for oil, and it's played out very nicely. I don't know what the numbers were last month, but about 13% rally in oil, and it was something we talked about on that squeeze. And it's if you just look at the psychology of the market, this feels like the squeeze hasn't been enough. The shorts are still there. They're still bearish, and you see why, because every week inventory numbers go up. Iran pumps more, and today Saudi Arabia says they'll pump as much as they want, so long as Iran is. So, and that's why oil's so down today. Why it's down $1.40 today, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel like it's gone high enough yet. So, for April, it's a good month seasonally. It really stretches from February to May is a great time seasonally for crude. So, I mean, the levels are important. Up at that, they say that 44, 45, kind of, it's around the break even for a lot of shale. So we get up there, they'll just turn the taps back on, and that will keep it down. And then again, the inventory numbers are so high, and I don't think there's so much upside that you need to worry about. Maybe a little bit more today. Now we're down to 37, but
I sense you're strongly neutral in crude.
I am. I'm bullish on the. I don't think I'm bearish, but it's not yet.
Right. Okay. And I sense that you're strongly neutral the dollar here too.
Well, we talk about seasonal.
And it's okay. I mean, look, you and I are put on the spot supposed to know where things are going to go every day. And isn't it a fact that there are time periods where there's more wisdom to say I don't know and just wait for markets to set up, and people will ask you for an opinion, and it's hard to say those words I don't know, isn't it?
That's why you got to get on TV or NBC like those guys and then yell and scream, and if you're wrong, yell and scream about something else. You're obviously right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Today's such a good example because it's non-farm Friday. Everyone wants to trade it, but you have end-of-month flows, beginning-of-month flows. It's non-farm payrolls, about 5 or 6 other big releases to go on with it, and it's that there is a lot of wisdom in staying in the sidelines until there's some clarity, and until that everything sets up just right. And I feel for technical traders too, because you had some of these breakdowns in the dollar, and now they're reversing on data or on flows, and you'll start to see on Monday some trends assert itself for the month. And if you want to talk about seasonals, it's extremely good month for the Aussie, for the Canadian dollar. A lot of these moves feel like they've happened already. Because March was a bit better of a month for the U.S. dollar, and it tried to climb higher, but the Fed just was, it cut the legs out under it from a few times. And I talked about gold shorts last month, and look, if you look at gold last month, you had bullish news. You had the Fed being more dovish, you had Yellen being more dovish, you had a terrorist attack, and gold still couldn't rally. And now gold's coming off here a little bit. I mean, gold's up 20% for the year, so we could fall 10% from here, and it's still in a
yeah,
good
the
spot.
CLP setup was pretty bearish in gold. I was going to ask you about it because I do have a memory like an elephant, and the last time we were on, you said keep it simple, and one of the trades was short the yen. It broke down at 116. And the other part of it was buy gold. And don't you think it was kind of a tell this week when the dollar was getting slaughtered that gold could not catch a bid while the dollar was under pressure? And to me, I think that this shakeout in gold could take us all the way down to 1100 in the weeks and months ahead. And that would be a great buying opportunity in my view. So what about this triple bottom in the yen, Adam? Do you think they could hold them? I rather, as a technician, I don't trust triple bottoms. It means that people have 3 chances to buy something at the same level without taking heat. You have any more downside projection? Should we take out that triple bottom?
Seasonally, there's not a lot going on. Just get that out of the way in dollar yen this month, and it's this Japan story. Will they let it go below 111? There has been that official take there, that fear of that, and you have the market is very long yen, so short dollar yen all of a sudden. You see it in the CFTC numbers, and you're tempted by the long side, but again, you think you can see this kind of flush maybe down to 108 before the BOJ steps up its game, or it sounds like they're willing to dig back into the bag of tricks. Not quite yet, but they will, and the government does not want to see that stronger yen. We had the Tankan numbers were out overnight, weak again in Japan. It's just almost a hopeless situation where they've tried so much to stimulate some kind of growth, and it just won't happen. Now, the downside may come on something like some negative risk aversion, but if you have the Fed and every central bank really pumping and stimulating, even China, then what's the catalyst to make stocks go down and to create risk aversion?
Okay, let's go to your neighborhood, buddy. Canada was under a lot of pressure because of the strength in crude USD CAD, and now we're at some pretty significant support levels. We had a nice little bounce. I don't know if it was a short squeeze starting from yesterday. Any type of long-term view on Canada from the sub 130 level?
It's been a brutal week for CAD traders. It was all flows of these oil settlement flows and that strong Canadian dollar bid late in March, even as oil was falling, or on the days it was falling, and now it's snapped back, right? A lot of the good news is in. The government came out with a very stimulative budget. They were waiting for that, really. The GDP number yesterday was strong. That's for January. That got everyone excited, but then it reversed. Most of the good news is in, but oil can rally further from here. The seasonals are very good for the Canadian dollar here.
Yeah, so that could take it down to what, 125-ish? You think?
I think that's a spot to buy, right around there, 125. 128 wasn't a bad level either, because I think the 145 is coming back in the second half of this year when oil rolls over, goes back down to 25 again. And the Fed maybe shifts back to being more hawkish. If you look at what's priced in for year end, it's a 60% chance of one hike. The Fed is still talking about 2 hikes. The risks might be to the upside of that, or at least that we flirt with the idea of hikes again, and that's the dollar side of the CAD trade. So the other seasonal, if we want to get into it, is cable. This is one of the all-time great months in seasonals, and it's 11 years in a row cable higher in April. You just don't see that very. I think it's since 2001, one time cable's been down in April. There's the Brexit story.
Yeah.
But if you look at it maybe on the Brexit side, and I don't want to fit the picture to the seasonals or anything, but a lot of the fears in there already. Everybody's dabbled with this Brexit. The vote is until June, so there's no immediate fear to go into the market, and maybe we can have a bit of a recovery here. certainly the levels today at 141 are a little better than they were yesterday.
Yeah, you know, and euro pound getting very stretched to the upside based upon that fundamental worry of the Brexit. You have any levels that you're paying attention to in cable where you might be interested in stepping up to the plate?
If you see any handle below 140, the market is so much money moving through London, and they always feel like, well, it's going back to 150, it's going back to 160. It always finds that level, and that 3 handle is awfully enticing.
Okay.
So that it's not far away, if not even before then. So I think we're really close to a spot that cable can do better. But economic data is okay out of England, and that's, I mean, that's saying a lot in this environment, right? If you're doing okay, it's like you're a winner in the global currency world.
Right. Also, I remember we left it off last interview where you asked me for my view on the stock market. That was back in February, and I said we were close to a low and there would be better shorting opportunities in April. Here we are in April, about 3% from all-time highs in the S&P's, had a little pullback, but it's since reversed. Any view on the equity markets up here? Are you in the camp that we're going to get new highs, or is this going to be some type of failing rally up here?
We were both bullish in March there. It was a very strong seasonal month, best of the year, and what were we up 6 or 8% in U.S. stocks. And yeah, I don't see the case. Even today you had a kind of reason to sell it. Better wages, Fed talk, even oil down. It's a good negative correlation. The stocks have roared right back. So I don't think it's there yet. And that, I repeat that a lot. We're just not at the best levels for, the major trends are still there, I think, and one of them will be more risk aversion. But I do want to ask you, being in America, about the American election, because I got a different mug here today. You can see me.
Yeah. So
I got the old Trump.
The political silly season is actually pretty frightening to a lot of people right now. Really, none of this. Are you still with me? Oh, you left. Okay. Well, Adam gave us plenty. He asked me a question and left. Anyway, Adam gave us some thoughts and some views, and now you're back.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I figured you weren't that interested in my view of the political silly season.
Go on.
There's really, I was thinking that we are going to put in some type of high here in April, and that I think for the first time in a long time, presidential politics are going to play a role in confidence and possibly even a risk-off move into the conventions. And so I'm looking for down into June, July, see if that works out. I really am ambivalent personally. I have more of a fear of the unknown with Trump and fear of the known with Clinton, fear of the unknown with Sanders. So all I do know is that I think the market's going to be concerned about this type of uncertainty into the convention. And then I think into the convention that perhaps we get a rally into the election after the conventions. And I'm actually looking for a pretty good bear year in equities and it to begin this April. Right now I'm assuming this is going to be a failing rally, and I think there's a chance to retest 1800 again in the S&Ps, and also a possibility if we take that out of 1550, which a lot of people would call a crash. I call it a 38% retrace of the whole bull move.
And, you know what? Spelled it out so well. I could get behind that playbook 100%. The convention is such a problem now, and I'm the first guy to say that politics are overrated in markets. The amount of talk in politics relative to how much it matters is way out of proportion. But right now, in the Republican convention, you can't. There's no way to get out of it unscathed. I think if Trump doesn't win, you have a lot of angry people, and basically probably, everybody feels cheated, and this feeling just persists. And then if it goes the other way, and he wins, well, you have so much uncertainty there as well, and a lot of anger and so on and so forth. So June, I think you're right. April for right now, there isn't even a lot on the calendar in terms of conventions. Wisconsin, well, Cruz is going to win Wisconsin, New York, Trump will win New York, and then it's mostly a blank calendar until we get into May. So probably you're not going to see the tension and risks just yet. And
I think that the tension is because of their ideas. The idea of a 35% tariff and a Smoot-Hardley 2.0 from Trump, and the ideas from Sanders on the other side of massive spending, and on both sides attacking Wall Street and the elite, and not being that you don't hear a lot of business friendly even from Donald Trump. So I think it's more of the ideas that are out there, and that they're more extreme on the left and the right than they've ever been in my lifetime. And if it's my lifetime, it's yours, because.
And some of it's just a feeling of inevitability that some of these things are going to happen, whether it's more protectionism, more regulation on Wall Street, it's more less immigration, these sort of things. It's just a sense of inevitability that we're swinging either right or left or some combination of both. And
well, Adam, you and I talk about a lot of different pairs and geo and political stuff. As you go home this weekend and you look ahead into April, what do you have the most conviction about as far as a trade setup? What are you looking to do this month? And it's like I tell people, Adam, I knew guys that never left the cattle pit their whole career, and they were successful because they knew one market like the back of their hand. They didn't have to know what was happening in the S&Ps or the euro dollars or the Deutschmark when it was being traded there. So selectively, what are you favoring going into April?
Yeah, I wish I had a huge amount of conviction, and just thinking about it as you say it, it's not there. But if I'll stand out and say it, I think it's the euro longs. It hurts the most people. Seasonals are okay for the euro. I mean, that's sterling seasonal trend. I just won't fight it. And the temptation is to buy the dollar, and I think the market is going to want to buy the dollar. But it might not just be time yet. And I think it's probably stock longs too. Unfortunately, it's just set up too well. But it's come a long way here yet. Maybe Shanghai Composite. They're stimulating there. That might be the spot if I had to pick one.
Well, I think you and I are both in the spot where you don't have a high degree of conviction level, but you know what? That could all change for you and me early next week. And the key is to be patient. And what I try and teach people is if you see yourself skimming around from pair to pair, and you hear your mind say, "I need to find a trade," it's time to shut your platform off, because the good trades smack you right in the face. You can't ignore them. You agree?
I trade the headlines too, so I mean, just keep the eyes open and wait for the news to hit. OPEC meeting mid-month. It would have been a token freeze anyway. That's going to make things move, and there's always going to be plenty of headlines. And today was a big headline day, and it'll ramp up again next week.
Well, you know what they say: people who buy headlines today sell newspapers tomorrow. You ever hear that one?
Never heard that one, Dale. You always.
But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, I look to buy a paper from you at your newsstand when I come up to Montreal. Adam, thank you so much for your time today, and I'm sure that the next time I talk to you, that there's going to be some more clarity from both of us. Really good hunting during the month of April, and thank you for your seasonal, excellent, elite work, buddy. And
thanks.
What's the best way for people to follow you more than once a month or so when they see you here?
Yeah, Forex Live right now. I was waiting for this. I'm putting up their seasonal package just now. It's our top 5 seasonal trades for April at forexlive.com or at Forex Live on Twitter.
Good hunting, partner.
Thanks so much, Dale.
All right, Pro. Take it easy, Adam. Everyone thank Adam for his time today. The community appreciates you.
Hey.
Who loves Adam? Give me a Y. All right, they're coming. You feel the love?
Feeling it.
All right, buddy. Have a great weekend, Adam.
You too, Dale.
See you, man. Okay, everyone, Adam Button. Hope you enjoyed it. I made you cry. All right. So great call by Goldie in the pound. I think we're almost at Goldie's target. You guys are just too good. You don't need me anymore. I'm just like the Ed McMahon on the Tonight Show. And you guys are the star. You guys are the star. So let's wrap it up with the LAR theme song. Because we have so many stars in here. If you want to be a star, show your charts in LAR. Say you need a new car, hang out with us in LAR. You rent but want to buy a house, hang with us a few hours before you click your mouse. Give me an L A R, LAR, love and respect. Jax is crying. So here's my wrap up, guys. This may have been it. I'd be looking for breaks down around 113 in euro next week. Maybe even the pound down here. US dollar yen is going to set up a nice shortening opportunity. Maybe we get back to 113 next week as the dollar mounts a comeback and the stock market mounts a comeback. Canada might be peaking here. I think there could be one more shoe to drop that could take us down to 28. And I think there's long-term buys setting up there. So I want to thank everyone individually for all your screenshots this week. I want to thank Dion and Fab and Brooke and Jake and Mystic and Luca and BW and Goldie, great trading, Ricardo, Borgia, Ali, FX Praise, Tolson, so many good traders in here. Forex Pipper, Ron, Alexandros, Ibby, Stip, welcome to Lars, see you next week. The Grays, Mauricio, Lerner, Carl, Double A, Kelvin, FX Praise, great work, thanks for your shares. Ball Guide, Terry, nice to see you. Todd, thank you. Eileen, Planet, good to see you. Ank, Abel, Evgeny, thank you all. Have a great weekend. We'll hit them again next week. We have a little bit more of a two-sided trade or a great opportunity to short the dollar could be setting up here. And remember, most of all, guys and ladies, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I count getting to know and chat and hang out with each and every one of you as a great blessing in my life. So enjoy your weekend. I'm going to take my tie off now. No one hired me, even though it was a good jobs number. I don't think I got hired. So I'm going cash. Enjoy the spring. It's a time of new beginnings. Get out there and enjoy your life. Look at your weeklies, though, and do your homework and come back with what I know it's going to be another week chock full of great ideas. I'll see everyone on Monday. God willing, I'll see you Monday. Take care and good hunting the rest of the day. You're very welcome.